I walked into my brother's wedding rehearsal dinner and found my place card waiting at the table. Uneducated freeloader's sister. The bride's family giggled like they'd just told the cleverest joke alive. They didn't know my brother was about to turn their little stunt into a financial crime scene. I'd been the extra parent most of my life. I stretched groceries, worked double shifts, skipped college, and kept our world from falling apart so he could climb out. I got real good at keeping the peace, which mostly meant swallowing disrespect. Looking back, that habit didn't make me noble. It made me easy to target. I stared at the card and honestly wondered if I'd sat wrong. Then the bride's cousin lifted her glass and said, "So this is the embarrassing relative we heard about." A few people smiled. A few looked away too late. My feet tried to do what they always did: back up, disappear, make it easier. My brother grabbed my hand before I could move. His grip was tight, steady. He looked straight at the bride's father and said, "What you did to my sister tonight will be the most expensive insult of your life." The room went dead quiet. He held the card up and tore it in half. Small sound, big message. The bride's father leaned back like consequences were for other people. "You should calm down," he said. "No one forced your sister to become what she is." I felt that old reflex kick in: fix it, soften it, protect everyone's comfort. Why was my first instinct still to manage someone else's cruelty? My brother stepped half a step in front of me. "You don't get to define her," he said. "You don't get to laugh at the woman who kept me fed. You don't get to invite her here just to entertain your family." The cousin tried to save the vibe with poison. "Please, some of us make 10 times her income with one click." I looked at her and felt weirdly calm. People like that only sound powerful if you agree to be ashamed. "I didn't come for applause," I said. "I came because my brother wanted me here." The bride's father stood up, jacket perfect, voice smooth. "You should be grateful you were invited at all." That's when it clicked. This wasn't a joke, it was a test. How much humiliation would I swallow to stay in their room? I lifted my chin. My hands were shaking, so I locked my fingers together. "You labeled me before I spoke," I said, "so don't lecture me about dignity." Someone set down a fork like it suddenly weighed a ton. The bride finally turned to her father. "Did you approve that card?" He hesitated, then said, "I approved honesty." Her face shifted. "If this is honesty," she said, "I don't know what I'm marrying into." My brother didn't yell. He didn't need to. "You thought she'd swallow it," he told the bride's dad. "You counted on her being too decent to humiliate you back." Then he pulled out his phone. After that, he unlocked it with one slow swipe. Next, he angled the screen toward the nearest guest. Then, he said, "Most of the final payments cleared through my account." Again, the room reacted like someone broke glass. After that, the bride's mother whispered, "What?" Next, my brother said, "He had liquidity issues." I covered vendors. Then he added, "And that generosity ends tonight." The bride's father snapped, "That was private." My brother didn't blink. "No," he said, "it was generous and it's over." He nodded at the coordinator. "Any unpaid vendors after midnight can invoice him," he said, pointing at the bride's dad. Silence. Pure, awful silence. The cousin tried to talk. My brother cut her off with one glance. "And you," he said, "you arranged the card, didn't you?" She stammered, then went quiet. The bride stared at her like she'd never seen her before. The bride took off her ring. No speech, no drama, just exhausted precision. She set it on the table, in front of her father. "I can't do this tomorrow," she said. My brother nodded once. "Then don't." We walked out together. The air outside felt cleaner than that entire room. In that moment, I realized something ugly and freeing. Peace you buy by erasing yourself isn't peace. It's surrender. And I was done surrendering. By the next day, vendors were publicly asking about unpaid balances. A guest posted the freeloader card story and it spread fast. By noon, the wedding was postponed. And suddenly, everyone wanted to know who really paid for all that generosity. They tried to brand me as the freeloader. Instead, they exposed themselves. So tell me, if you were in my shoes, would you have stayed quiet to keep the peace, or would you have called it out in front of everybody?